Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Ken and Mark Show.
Or how I learned to stop worrying and just call it football.
That's right, the show where the opinions are made up and the shape of the balls does
not matter.
Yes.
At all.
At all. It's it's our first show of the new year, Ken.
Yes, and it's
April.
March.
Almost. Yeah.
It's March 27th.
Yeah. We're a little behind.
Yeah. There's been some things that have happened.
Yes. Wow. There have been several important things, I think.
I think we missed Omicron.
Yeah.
We missed a couple variants. We missed
the invasion of Ukraine.
Yeah. How forgot about that?
A whole ass war that we weren't around for.
Oh God. And then all the stupid punditry that's coming out of that.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot. Why don't we spend the first few minutes distracting ourselves with sports?
Okay. I like this idea.
And let's make it time for the whirlwind 3 months in review.
Oh, this could be a long one. Okay, that's about as far as I'm going. I'd be spinning for the next week.
All right, so I guess the first thing that we missed in chronological order was the Super Bowl. The Los Angeles Rams are your 2022 Super Bowl champions, defeating the Cincinnati Bengals by one score. In a game that actually was pretty good. The Bengals,
it was the best
Bengals actually had a shot at this.
It was the best Super Bowl I'd seen in a long time.
Besides
since the 28-3.
Yes. Wow.
That's a hard one. That's a hard one to beat.
That's a tough one. Matthew Stafford is finally a Super Bowl champion after wasting his career away in Detroit. He goes out to LA and the Rams pull out all the stops, and he is now Super Bowl champion. He has the same number of Super Bowls as Aaron Rodgers. Look at that.
Hey, I gotta say, that's an organization. I mean, if Stan Kroenke ran the Arsenal like he ran the Rams,
yeah.
Arsenal
might be competitive.
Arsenal's competitive this year. It only took them 20 years, or at least it seems like 10 years since Arsene Wenger left. But
it's about that, yeah.
But were they competitive under Arsene? He just got him into that fourth place trophy. But the Rams. Imagine having an organization that you root for that at the trade deadline, they're like, you know what, our quarterback needs another wide receiver, and you know what, we need to beef up our defense. So let's not just get players. Let's get two of the best players. Let's go get Von Miller, and let's go get Odell Beckham Jr.
Right.
I mean, imagine if our teams did stuff like that.
Imagine even though they did that.
Like even though you're only like renting them for 4 or 5 games, like that's right. Well, that says a lot to your fan base. Like, we're going all in to get into the Super Bowl.
And in the culture that we're in, like a few years from now, the Rams are going to have to completely blow up that team for salary cap reasons, but it won't matter because they'll have won their Super Bowl.
They'll be able to point to if you can point to your finger and be like, it's worth it.
Exactly. So and their fans will be down for a couple of years, but they'll have that Super Bowl trophy on the shelf, and they can point to that anytime they need to, right? Instead of a team that's constantly mediocre and never makes the effort to go all in, you could at least point to being a champion.
Yeah, and that's mean, and that's today's NFL with the salary cap and all that bull. It's just teams are gonna you build them up. Hopefully you sign a young quarterback, and through his first 5 years, you can, under his rookie deal, you can get the veterans in on defense and offensive line, and like with Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, like it seems like that's the template to win a Super Bowl. You have to look out in the draft on that quarterback, and then if you do, you just get pieces around him and go for it.
You have a very with the salary cap, you have a very limited window to be effective, and so you need to make full use of that window, and you need to sign value wherever you can find it, and that means that you have to have great scouts, and you have to some things you have to get lucky on. Like you sign Odell Beckham Jr. and he's coming off the injury. You don't really know how he's going to play, and you don't really know if he's going to get injured again. But it worked out for you.
Or what kind of attitude is he going to bring? Like, is he going to bring Cleveland attitude to LA, or is he going to bring that Odell energy? Well, he brought the Odell energy, and you saw he sacrificed for the team. And that's what you want. And when veterans do that, the rest of the team sees it, and it bleeds into it, and everyone buys in. I mean, that's that to me, it's as simple as that. If your veterans buy in, the rest of the team will.
Yeah. And I don't want to short shift the Bengals here. This is an incredible turnaround story in Cincinnati, and their run to the Super Bowl. They had to defeat the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati and the Kansas City Chiefs in consecutive overtime games in some of the best playoff games ever played.
I had to correct you. They beat the Titans and the Kansas City Chiefs because the Chiefs beat the Bills.
Yes. But this series of playoff games, some of the best playoff games ever played. I think wild card weekend, all 4 games were 1-score games, and 3 of them were decided on the last play of the game.
It was either kickers had never played such an important role in the playoffs than last year. It was it was fun for the neutral. I haven't had that much fun. I hardly ever, when it comes to playoffs, I'll catch the highlights.
Yes.
But when it came to these, it's like you wanted to watch these games because they started off good, and it went all the way through the playoffs to the Super Bowl. I mean, it was just a great. The NFL needed that postseason for ratings, and I think it's going to serve them well.
Yes.
And that's about all I got to say about the Super Bowl.
Well, after the Super Bowl, I guess starting a few weeks ago, free agency opened up.
Oh my goodness.
What is happening right now with the NFL landscape?
Let me just pull up. I know one of the biggest surprises for me is Tyric Hill is now a Miami Dolphin.
Right.
This is what
this is kind of starting to look like for me is this is sort of starting to feel like the NFL players looked at the NBA and said, we can do that.
Anything you can do, we can do a lot better.
And so now players are just, the amount of, I'm curious as to whether the trend toward guaranteed money is going to be a permanent thing, because we've been saying for decades now that part of the problem the NFL players don't have the same collective power as baseball players and basketball players is because they don't have guaranteed contracts. The amount of guaranteed money handed out in the last couple of weeks is insane.
Deshaun Watson's contract in Cleveland is fully guaranteed.
Right.
Which
Two-
that blew my mind.
$230 million.
What the hell is that all about?
Fully guaranteed for a guy with 22 open civil cases against him. It's something.
I don't get it. I just don't. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But what do I know? I mean, I'm trying to find like the signing list of NFL free agents.
Right. Well, while you're looking for that, let's talk about a few of the trades, and the re-signings. Aaron Rodgers returns to Green Bay for $50 million a year for 2 years plus an additional year at the end of that.
If I was, I think that's a big mistake for the Packers and Aaron Rodgers.
I think I think Aaron Rodgers is kind of at the point where he doesn't care about any more Super Bowls.
I think he just cares about getting as much money as he can.
Right, which I mean, you're entitled to do that. But
hey, good on him. But you're not gonna understand that your storied career is gonna end up being he's the guy that can get you to the championship game of your conference, but never to the Super Bowl.
Right. That has been his legacy since that first Super Bowl.
With as much talent as he has, and as much talent he's had around him. I mean, that Green Bay has lucked out drafting some great running backs. Yeah, they might have only lasted 1 or 2 years, but those first 1 or 2 years have been like electrifying. Like they're over 1,000 yards. Mm-hmm. He seems to go from having a number 1 wide receiver to a number 1 wide receiver. Like, and I'm talking like what I know you got Devontae Adams, but before that he had I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But it was always he always had that number 1 guy that could just torch you, and like they're all in the hall, like they're in the hall. It's just it's ridiculous. Like he hasn't had to do what Tom Brady had to do, like with nobodies. Like whenever you talk about Green Bay, it's like, well, the defense is a little down, or like he doesn't have a number 3 wide receiver in the slot. Like he's always had talent around him.
Yeah. I'm not sure that this contract helps the Packers at all.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like he sure took less money. If he wanted to win a Super Bowl in Green Bay, he doesn't need $50 million a year.
No, but like I said, I don't think it's about that for him.
No,
at this point.
If I was a Packer fan, I'd be a little like, yeah, you're happy about number 12 or whatever the fuck it is in Green Bay, but I wouldn't be.
At the same time, though, I'm pretty sure the management looked at Jordan Love and the games that he started and the games that he played and said, we can't go that route. So
yeah, he's not ready yet. But also, if Aaron Rodgers loved, if he actually like cared about Green Bay, he would be he wouldn't have such a media circus these last 2 years about him just signing or not. It's like, well, he's a bit of a diva. He's a diva.
I think one thing we've learned about Aaron Rodgers is in the words of Terrell Owens, he loves him some him.
Yeah.
Right. So
he's like, to me, he's like the Kim Kardashian of the NFL. He
has decided that he is the smartest guy in the room and he needs to hold all the attention. And so that's what we've got.
If you want proof of that, tune into the Pat McAfee show every Tuesday.
Yes.
He does a 1-hour interview.
Yes.
If you want to see a man's head inflate with ego, just watch that every Tuesday because he has his buddy AJ Hawk come on there and stroke it with him too.
Yes. To the surprise of absolutely no one, Tom Brady unretired and is returning to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for yet another season.
Hey, Tom Brady's got unfinished business. He wants to win that ring, man. He needs to win that Super Bowl. I don't think he's going to retire until he wins one.
Tom Brady spent 2 weeks at home with his wife and kids and was like, "Fuck that, I'm going back to work."
I can't be here with this supermodel, my beautiful children.
I can't be a responsible adult. Let me go back to playing a game.
Like I don't believe you should ever ask players right after a game, a loss in the playoffs, are you like that?
But you know why it happens. So they have something to talk about for the 12 weeks between the Super Bowl and free agency. Yes. Right. If you didn't ask them, then what would you speculate on for 3 months? Right? I mean,
it's stupid.
Anybody who thought that he was actually retiring, I've got a bridge I'd like to tell you.
Top free agent signings 2022.
Yes. Did you find it?
Let me see. I think so. 22 NFL free agency tracker. Okay. Wow, it would be helpful if they put the teams they went to. Thanks a lot, CBS, for your useless. Yeah, I cannot find it.
Well,
but it's going off memory. Like we said, Tyreek Hill was one of the biggest surprises to me was Russell Wilson in the Mile High City.
Yeah.
He's taking his talents. He's taking his talents to Denver,
to the foothills. This Seattle continues to prove that they don't understand how to. They don't understand how to trade. They don't understand how to draft. They don't understand how to sign. This trade for the Seahawks is stupid.
When they get a lot of draft capital back, I mean,
they get draft capital back. They get the ninth pick in this year's draft, and if Denver is any good, then they'll get the 30th pick in next year's draft, which is okay.
I'm thinking of Cleveland to Houston.
Yeah,
or not. I mean,
you're thinking of Kansas City to Miami.
That was a lot of draft picks. Okay, sorry.
That was draft picks. This one, and I don't look at the last 6, 7 Seahawks drafts of all the players that they've drafted. One of them is still on the team. Like I don't trust this organization to draft anybody.
I wish my Bears GM would go get DK Metcalf right now. Because that man's a beast.
I can't believe he hasn't left yet. I can't believe he's still there.
If he does leave, I would sacrifice a chicken or some kind of. I would give Joe Boo the best rum, and make that happen.
Seattle's PR team, though, has done a fantastic job of pretending that they actually want Drew Lock. I mean, they've done a really great job of acting like they have a quarterback, even though the entire league knows that that's just
Denver. He wasn't even the guy in Denver. What about But what do you say about Bobby Wagner?
That is the thing that bothered me more.
That's gotta hurt
because everybody knew that Russell Wilson was not coming back. Like that wasn't a surprise to anyone. But the fact that they cut Bobby Wagner, and according to Bobby Wagner, didn't tell him about it.
Yeah, that's not a good organization.
That's not a good sign. And it's just adding on to the number of superstars that have left that team on bad terms. And at some point it's no longer the player's fault. It's the management that has the problem.
They got away with it with Richard Sherman because Richard Sherman is such a outgoing character.
Yep.
And
they got away with it with Earl Thomas. They too many superstar players have left that team on bad terms for me to trust that management. So
Metcalf,
Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner is the
Wagner. When I heard about that, I was like, oh, that's gotta hurt Mark, because that's like, I mean, isn't that the last piece of the Legion of Boom?
That is the last piece of that Super Bowl team that remained there. So they're all gone now.
That's bad.
Yeah,
I would say, but Bears free agency has been a shit show. 1 second.
I was gonna, yeah.
It was just, well, there really wasn't a free agency.
I was going to ask you, how do you feel about the? I don't want to say inaction, but that feels like what's going on there. Like they're not doing anything.
According to our new GM, Ryan Pace has left us in cap hell and also without any draft picks.
That's all true.
I am pro moving Khalil Mack on. He has not been the same since that injury the first year he was with us. Because when he got injured the first year, they rushed him back. It got re-injured, and he's never been 100% since he's been with us.
Yes.
And you can see from when he first started, those first like 5 games, that was Khalil Mack. That was the guy that was worth everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when he came into the game late against Green Bay and basically made you guys look like bitches, it's like, I mean, you got to admit that he did. I mean, he took like I've never seen a defender take over a ball game. One guy.
Yeah.
It was
the guy.
I mean, it was the stuff of legends. But then when that ankle got injured, it never healed. It never healed. Mm-hmm. So getting what we could for Khalil Mack, and the fact that when he did his press conference with the Chargers,
mm-hmm.
and someone asked him, how do you feel about Chicago? And he, like, this made me feel really good because I love them. I mean, he said, I love those 4 years in Chicago were very special. And he went on to name all the players, like, didn't just do the cliche, like, I love that defense. He named all of his fellow defensive players that he played with throughout his 4 years,
mm-hmm.
like that were his friends and it was like a 12 name long. And there's no bad blood between Khalil Mack and Chicago.
Right.
Allen Robinson hurts because I feel like Fields needed a veteran wide receiver to grow with, but I don't blame him because they didn't want to pay him the money.
Right.
So he's gone. I forget where he went to.
Jacksonville, I think. No.
No, it wasn't. It was.
I don't remember.
The Rams. It was the Rams.
Right.
How the Rams are keep signing people. I guess they're gonna we're gonna go for another Super Bowl and then say, "Fuck it," you know.
I don't understand how they have cap space left, but maybe I'm just.
I bet there's been I bet people have worked their contracts around it where they can do it. I mean, they
maybe
you know that they have accountants in there that are magicians with numbers.
Yes.
So because the Packers weren't supposed to be able to sign Aaron Rodgers with all the cap hell they're in. I mean, but whatever. Yeah. So those are we released Tyric Cohen because of injury.
Right.
So that one hurts because when he was healthy, you saw what with Mitch Trubisky having Tyric Cohen as an outlet. That's a dangerous outlet. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Montgomery, but he's a running back. I mean, to me, he's not Marshall Faulk. He's a running back. He's like, give me the ball and let me wear down a defense. And but yeah, and we tried signing the big defensive tackle from Cincinnati.
Mhm.
He fails his physical. So then we gotta run around and we grab the defensive tackle from the Chargers. It's like a consolation prize. So I am not happy with the Bears free agency. And also Danny Trevathan was let go. So it's whatever. I would say there was one last thing I want to say about NFL free agency.
You did manage to get rid of Devontae Adams out of the division without having to do anything.
where did he go?
The Raiders. So he went from Aaron Rodgers to Derek Carr. So I don't know I don't know how that's going to work out, but
Derek Carr has all the tools. He just he needs to be 100% healthy. When he kind of needs everything to be perfect, and then he can throw for 4,000 yards.
Every year we keep hearing about, man, Derek Carr had a pretty solid year last year. He looks like he's going to turn the corner and make that step. 8 years later, hasn't happened. So is it going to happen at this stage?
Hey,
I don't know.
I say this is his last year to go with him, because with Devontae Adams, you have a legit number one threat. Yes. So
right.
If I'm any other wide receiver on that team, I am the happiest man alive, because I'll never get another double team. You know what I mean?
Look at that, and look at that division that you're in: Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. That is the new NFC West, baby.
The AFC North. Let's look at this.
Oh, Mitch Trubisky in Pittsburgh.
No. I want to say this. I want to say that for last. We have Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. Yeah. Okay, yes. We know Baltimore's going to be Baltimore. Yes. We have Deshaun Watson going to the Browns. Mm-hmm. That's rapping insane. And then we have the Browns. Who else?
You have Joe Burrow in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and then we got Joe Burrow coming off a Super Bowl year, right. And he's like, he's a young. These are all young quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers to replace Ben Roethlisberger. They signed Mitch Trubisky. And I've been hearing all over sports radio, even like Pat McAfee show, that no, this guy's good. It was just Chicago. I'm like,
sure.
No. Sure. I watched him for 4 years. He's not good. I can't wait for Steelers fans to appreciate the one pass that he likes to throw like 50 yards straight in the air for anybody to catch every game. And then there's the other pass he throws every game, the "What were you thinking" pass.
What were you thinking pass? There's at least two of those every game.
It was funny. Pat McAfee on his show, they said Mike Tomlin's finally got a guy that can scramble around. I'm like, yeah, we thought he would scramble around too. He never did in Chicago. He was supposed to run for those first downs. For some reason, he's like, I've got to stay in the pocket to prove I'm a pocket passer. I can't wait for the experiment in Pittsburgh to utterly fail.
So what happens to Baker Mayfield? As of this morning, he's still a Cleveland Brown.
Let's see. If I'm the New York Giants, I'm getting him. If I'm let's see, who else would really
the New York Giants seem stuck on Daniel Jones for some reason that I don't understand.
Why? I have no idea.
Maybe the Washington Commanders should take a run at it.
Or if I'm the Raiders.
Well, but then what do you do with Derek Carr?
You just cut him. I think Baker Mayfield better than I think Baker Mayfield's better than Derek Carr. Let's see who else. Tennessee. I think he's better than
Tannehill?
Yeah, I think he's better than Tannehill.
Tannehill's been more consistent. I'll give him that.
But I think the chinks I think people are starting to figure out.
If I was the Colts, I would have wanted Baker Mayfield over Matt Ryan. I think that's another,
because Baker Mayfield's a younger Matt Ryan.
Well, no, I mean he's a younger, far more mobile Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is a statue back there. And in the NFL, in this NFL, like unless your name is Tom Brady, that type of quarterback doesn't fly anymore.
The best thing that Matt Ryan's got going for him in Indy. Yeah, we forgot to talk about this trade. Matt Ryan to Indianapolis. Having Jonathan Taylor back there as a running back.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the play action game should be ridiculous
Yes.
in Indianapolis next year.
Jonathan Taylor is ridiculously good.
If 30% of their pass plays don't come off play action, they're doing something wrong.
Yes.
I mean, that's just my opinion.
Agreed.
Minnesota,
right.
Minnesota, Detroit. Do you think Baker Mayfield is better than Jared Goff?
Yes. I think he's better than Kirk Cousins. I think so. Somebody put out a stat a couple weeks ago when Minnesota re-signed Kirk Cousins for a whole heap of money again. Kirk Cousins has made something like $260 million in his career for being an average quarterback.
Yeah, I don't get it.
All because league offices are so afraid to take a risk on anything that they'll sign the mediocre known quantity for huge amounts of money instead of going out and looking for the next talent.
No, we've talked about this. I mean, we talked about when Kurt went to Minnesota. I mean, we beat that horse to death. Let's move on to we've got a lot to cover. Let's move. NFL. We got the draft coming up. I have not watched the combine, so I cannot tell you who.
I haven't either. I don't know.
So after that, we'll cover that when we get to that.
All right. English football.
Yes.
Why don't we do that? Yes. So we have a title race. Ken, the race is on. Manchester City and Liverpool at the top of the table, separated. I believe it's by 2 points right now.
I'm checking.
Games played. And
they both it is separated by, they both have 29 games played. Manchester City has 70 points and Liverpool has 69 points. Nice.
So 1 point apart, and the head-to-head is coming up in a couple of weeks here. So they will play each other.
Basically,
each other.
The person who's going to win, basically who wins that game, wins the league.
Barring significant injury after that, yes, I agree.
Oh, sweet. United's in 6th.
Well, so the real races are happening between 4th and 6th, and then at the bottom of the table, Everton is in legitimate danger of being relegated.
Oh man.
This is something that has, right. I mean, no one would have seen this coming.
Right now, they're 3 points out of the drop. Well,
yes.
If listening to Men in Blazers, apparently that team, they had gotten a new, like when they bought James Rodriguez and all these guys, they had gotten a new ownership group in, but that turned out to be like fake money or some shit. So, and they're gone now. Ooh. And Everton is stuck with a lot of wage bills they can't really afford. So and they got a new stadium they're building. Like,
right.
There's a lot of money going out and not much coming in.
Nothing coming in.
So they really need to just survive this season.
Yes.
And I think they'll do it. I think they'll squeak by a point or two. But
and they may, but they are in legitimate danger of not making it.
I think the EPL needs Everton to stay because I couldn't imagine a season without the Merseyside derby. I mean,
yeah. When was the last time that happened?
I think they regulated maybe in the 80s. I mean, it's been like 40, 50 years since last time they were relegated.
Right.
I mean, this is big.
Yeah. This is a big deal. This would be a huge point of crushed pride for Evertonians. Like you'll have to watch Liverpool hoist the championship for the second time in 3 years while you're relegated.
And I think if you guys win this year, you either tie us for trophies or you take back the lead.
For United,
Yeah.
I think we'd be tied for trophies.
I mean,
you guys would still have like a lot more Premier League championships since we'd only have two.
When it comes with that, you combine them all. When it comes to total championships, you combine all the before it was a Premier League. It's all about that it's the first division no matter what. So you combine them all.
Okay. Yeah.
But I can't remember if you win this, we're tied, or if you beat us.
I think it's tied again.
That's
so. What do you? Okay, so obviously Manchester City is great. Liverpool is I surprisingly consistently good again. Last season,
to me, it's like to me is when you say it's like, how is that surprising?
Well, last season they weren't. I mean, they kind of scraped into the top four last season. I understand there were injuries. I understand that.
A lot of injuries. A lot. Like I think at one point you were playing Milner in defense.
We were playing him at center back at some point.
Yeah,
which is
like,
okay.
I'm sorry, and to still finish top four is a testament to that team.
The Diaz signing has proven to be a great spark for that front three so far. That energy that he's got and the ability to just be in the right place has been like we're no longer wringing our hands when Salah or Mane has to sit because we've got guys that can take over and with that style of play.
I think this is the last season though with those three players on that team. They're getting older, and I think this is the last season with all three of them doing their thing. So
and I think
because you can't pay them all.
No, and I think Firmino will go first, and then Salah might. Liverpool has not seemed willing to modify its wage structure in a way that would compensate Salah for the player that he is. So they might lose him too. I don't know.
From what I hear, the BFG or the something Fenway Sports Group.
Fenway Sports Group.
FSG, that's what it's called. They're the way they do it is to break even in the transfer market, like with players coming in, players going out, like balancing the books that way. And and to me, it's like when you hear about that, it's like, well, that's just stupid. You got to spend, there's no salary cap in EPL, but they're trying to make a sustainable long-term team. And if you look at the way they did it, it sounds silly, but the results speak for themselves. They took a team in Liverpool who was basically a yo-yo club when I say yo-yo club, not going in and out of the division, but being good, being bad, being good, being bad. Now it's like people have forgotten about bad Liverpool. It's always it's about people get upset when Liverpool aren't as good as they should be, but they're still good. But they should be. Instead of scoring 5 goals, they only score 3, and they're like, "Has Liverpool lost its edge?" That's what you're dealing with.
The thing that is now is the thing that always has been, right? Like that's the way humans operate. Oh, this team is good now, so they've always been good, and we expect them to be great. Oh, this team is bad; they'll never amount to anything. Okay, that's not like neither of those things are true. But I do, yes. Liverpool was built by looking for value where they could find it. I mean, Salah was purchased from Roma for what, 20 million?
Yeah, I was going to say 20,
ridiculously low. The most expensive player on that team is Virgil van Dijk by far. And I think Alisson is actually next. So So the front three were nowhere near the expensive players.
And I think Allison, there's a young goalkeeper at Liverpool. I can't remember his name, but he played in the teacup final, where I forget what it's called. Where the shootout where you guys beat Chelsea in the English League Cup, whatever. And
Carabao
I mean, that was the shootout went. It came down to goalies.
Yes.
And your goalie scored, and theirs did not. I mean, not your goalkeeper. I mean, he is something else. So, I mean, I'm talking about your backup, the one that's up and coming. Like, you're basically gonna replace Allison with, and that's what Klopp does. He did it at Dortmund. He did it at Mainz. He's building up your academy to where, and FSG. I think that's a part of the reason why FSG hired him, is his track record of not having to spend. He made Borussia Dortmund good by not buying a bunch of like splashy players. It was coming up through the academy and finding like talent that's on the cheap.
Yeah.
And sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss, but the misses don't hurt as bad.
That's right.
And that's to me, that's the key to building a successful soccer team, is making sure the misses don't hurt that bad.
As a fan, I would still love to see Liverpool take a run at a legitimate superstar player.
I think they need, if they want to if they want to break into markets and get more revenue, you're going to need to sign it. To me, Mbappe is the natural fit.
That's the logical. I mean, at this point, why would he want to go to Spain? Spain is no longer. I mean, Spain arguably never really was that competitive. The financial setup is a disaster. Why do you want to go there? When take a run at a legit superstar, and even if you don't get him, that's fine.
But to me, that sends out a message to other superstars that Liverpool is now
open for business.
Yeah. So
imagine if you could replace Firmino with Mbappe.
I don't want to imagine that.
like
I'd really rather not imagine that, but I could see that happening. So can we quit talking about Liverpool and how good they are?
We certainly can, because I would like to hear from you. How do we fix Manchester United? How do we do? What is the problem now?
Well, you got to fire the manager.
I've watched this team quite a bit now, more than I used to, I think. And the schizophrenia that is displayed by their play.
The interim manager has no idea what he's doing.
It's baffling to me. Like the lineup, the players he chooses, it's just, I don't get it.
I'm hearing that Pochettino is going to be taking over after this, and that's our only hope.
Is he leaving Paris?
From what I hear, we're going after him. We need a manager in there that is going to take control of us from top to bottom, like a Ferguson. Mm-hmm. We need somebody that, because this Ragnick or whatever the fuck it is one of the worst managers I've ever seen. He's letting the players run the locker room. It's like you said, the lineups, they make no sense. He's not playing Rashford and Sancho and somebody else. They've all got left out of the England team.
Right. The fact.
Right. They for some reason they're hanging on to Jesse Lingard like he's the jewel of the Nile. I don't understand this. Let him go. Get some money back from him while you can.
The things that I'm just baffled by the level of talent that's on this team that's just sitting on the bench week after week after week. And I don't understand what, like, Jadon Sancho should be starting every week. Every week. Marcus Rashford should be starting.
Yeah, these are or at least there should be a rotation set up. There should be. I could manage this team better than him. And the first thing I would do, I would go up to Ronaldo and be like, "All right, buddy, like we love you, but you're not 18. We're not going to we're not going to pass you the ball every time.
Well,
We're going to make sure you get your touches and stuff because we need the defense to be scared of you, and you're going to get your goals, but it's not just the Ronaldo show anymore." And I think Ragnarok has let it become that. And yeah, he got a hat trick and it was a great game, beautiful, but we're out of the Champions League now, which that sucks. We lost to Atletico Madrid by a goal.
Yeah, and that game, yeah,
it's horrible. I mean, there's no Harry Maguire has regressed again. We need a manager in there to get the players that we have with all this talent to believe in themselves again, and we do not have that. To me, we have as much talent as anybody, if not, I think better.
I think you have more.
They don't believe in themselves, and that's what Ferguson did. He got people, and because he studied human psychology. He knew that not every player responds to a certain type of motivation. Some guys you can kick them in the ass and call them a pussy, and they'll be like, "Well, I'll show you." But some guys, I mean, they call it the hug or a slap. Some guys need to be hugged, some guys need to be slapped. And a good manager knows which player needs which, and gets the most out of them. And this guy, I don't even know who this guy is. I don't know where he came from. I never heard of him. And he's managing Manchester United. Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't understand what they're doing. I don't know.
Sell Jesse Lingard. Sell Nemanja Matic. Right now,
Pogba's got to go at this point.
If we don't make the Champions League, we're not using Pogba. Why is he there?
Exactly.
Sell jersey.
Sell jerseys. You've got superstar players that you're not utilizing. Like why do you buy Jadon Sancho if he's just gonna sit on the bench?
Yeah.
Like there's no point to that.
If I'm all these players, I'm like, why am I here? Apparently I'm not special enough to start, so screw it.
Right.
I'm really like, I've been just disgusted with the play of Manchester United. But I would like if we can we talk about the World Cup qualifiers that have been happening? To me, that's been the more interesting story.
Yes, Italy eliminated from the World Cup by North Macedonia. I don't even know where that is.
You know where Greece is?
Yes.
Macedonia. Macedonia is where Alexander the Great and King Philip, his father, came from. That's kind of like north of Greece. So that's where that's where he started his kingdom, and then drove down through Greece and then took over.
So this is North Macedonia.
It's like in the Balkans kind of things.
Okay, and there's a North and South Macedonia.
Yeah, it's split up. Civil War. It's the Balkans, man.
Well, right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know really what else to say. Like, I really don't know what to say, but it's the fucking Balkans. I would like to start off in CONCACAF.
CONCACAF, yes.
We got. There's 2 games left, and there's games tonight and then Tuesday, I believe.
Yes.
Oh wait, Tuesday or Wednesday, doesn't matter. But today, or actually, a couple of days ago, the United States played Mexico in Mexico.
Yes.
And we have this United States team is very young.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of young talent. Pulisic, Reyna, Pepe,
Weston McKennie when he's healthy.
Weston McKennie, Charlie Adams,
Tyler Adams.
And then the guy Stefan. Yeah, I think it's Stefan. The guy, he's a goalkeeper for City, I think.
Yeah.
Basically, we got young talent everywhere. And we got a veteran in Yedlin who's still playing. Like it's nice seeing him still out. I've always loved DeAndre Yedlin. But they did something that I didn't think was possible for a U.S. team to do. This young team went into Azteca and had Mexico on the ropes. We've beaten Mexico and Azteca like maybe once or twice, but never in a World Cup qualifier, in a game that really meant something, like the World Cup. Me and my dad were watching a game. We couldn't believe it. I mean, they were stringing passes together. They were playing smart. We should have won it 2-0. They had 2 open goals. One hit the post and bounced out. The other, Pulisic pulled a Raheem Sterling where all he had to do is go left. Like, he's right in the middle of goal with the goalkeeper. Yeah. He has all the net and the goalkeeper's flat-footed. He could go right or left. And the ball just went right down the middle. And it was like, I mean, I fell to the floor. I was like, I thought we scored. But the thing that's going to hold us back and maybe make it to where we don't even where we might miss out on the World Cup because the top 5 teams are so close. Our manager, Greg Berhalter, is the worst thing that has ever happened to this team. The team is performing, and we might be tied for second in CONCACAF group stage. We should be winning this group because of the players we have. Berhalter, okay. We're in Mexico City. You have Mexico on the ropes. This has never happened. I mean, Giovanni Reina came on in the 60th minute and pulled a Maradona. I went in the kitchen to get water. My dad was like, the Reina got the ball a little bit before midfield. He dribbled past 8 Mexican defenders by himself. Just like the ball was stuck to his foot. I just heard, oh my God. He just went through, oh my God. And he's still going. And I'm like, I kind of run back into the room to see the end of it. I mean, it was ridiculous. But with 15 minutes left in the game, Greg Berhalter pulls out Pulisic, brings in a defender. And from that point on, you thought we were losing the game.
Park the bus.
We were just clearing the ball down. We had everybody behind the ball. I about lost my mind.
He got scared. That's what that was.
And I was like,
got scared.
How did you get scared? You were bossing the game. I was like, you think Germany would take their foot off someone's throat? Yeah, I know we needed like a tie. We needed that point, but what if we could have got the win there? It was so bad that when the final whistle blew, the Mexican coach clapped and congratulated his players because he knows he should have lost. So that's all I want to say about America, and congratulations Canada. Even though you lost to Costa Rica.
Well, can we talk about Canada for a minute?
Yes.
There's a story in the Athletic this week about Asa Hutchinson, Canada's captain. He's like 38 now or something, and he's been playing for the national team his entire life. And this is the first time he's ever actually gotten a chance to make a run at something. Canada, this team, this
is special.
For the longest time, Canadians haven't really cared about soccer because they haven't been any good. And then the women's team started to win games. And then they won Olympic gold. And then the men's team started to win games. The Canadian men went to Azteca and won. What? That doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen. Period.
You beat them in World Cup qualifying. They don't lose
World Cup
there.
Qualifying. Exactly.
They don't lose there.
So with 2 games left, all they have to do is win one of them, and they're in. Regardless of any other results, they can still get in with help if they don't win. But all they have to do is beat.
You guys are in the catbird seat. You would have to lose both games. If you tie both games, you're in.
Yes. All they have to do is beat Jamaica or Honduras. Is that right?
Yes, you will. You're playing Jamaica today.
Yes.
And then you have 1 second. Panama.
Okay, Panama. So they should beat Jamaica. Like that shouldn't be a close game.
I think if you beat Jamaica, you lock up damn near unless Mexico's going to win their next 2 games. They play the worst 2. They play Honduras and they play El Salvador. So
right.
They're going to win their next 2 games.
But it won't matter. If Canada just wins 1, they're in because the top three make it, right? Yeah.
The top 3 automatically go. The 4th team has to play a playoff against I think the 2nd place team in Oceania, or something like that, or something like that. But basically, Canada's through, and so I think I don't think Canada has. I think they win the group, and which gives you a great pot seed, like your great position in the when they do the draw for the World Cup.
And if they make it to the World Cup, it'll be Canada's first appearance in the World Cup since the 50s or the.
Oh my God!
It's either the 30s or the 50s. Was the last time they were there.
I didn't know they were ever there. I mean, not to joke around, I didn't even know they ever made it.
Oh no! Long enough ago that it doesn't really matter anymore. But just to watch this team kind of develop this belief in itself and built around these young superstars playing in other countries. Alphonso Davies, Jonathan David, these guys have.
It's special. This is a goal. This is a golden generation for Canadian soccer.
Yes.
And now what the Canadian FA needs to do is build on this momentum and really invest in coaching for the under under 10s, under 15s, like really what a lot of like countries like Canada and the United States, they take advantage of the fan base to get money, but they don't take advantage of the kids and the excitement to get grassroots soccer going in their countries, to where you're building generation after generation of soccer player. Right. I mean, that's what Brazil does. That's what Argentina does. Germany, England, like they take advantage of these big competitions and, basically ensure that they're always going to have talent come.
Right. Yeah. And to their credit, the Federation just announced that they're going to construct a new world-class training facility and training facilities. Nice. and a coaching structure. So they're I think they're on the right track.
I think this will be the Canadian thing. To me, is going to be basically the foundation, the federation that Alphonso Davies built. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a statue of him somewhere eventually.
If he keeps going, Alphonso Davies deserves a statue in Canada somewhere. To me, because he's the guy that started, like he's the spark that lit the fire for Canadian soccer to be good on the world stage.
Yes.
Because I'm sorry for you guys. I mean, I know CONCACAF isn't the heart, but you guys are on top of that. That's still
this. Alphonso Davies walked into Bayern Munich and displaced a starter, David Alaba.
A star.
For his spot, a star. For his spot on the most storied team in Germany.
At 18, 19 years old?
At 19 years old. Won a league championship, won a Champions League trophy, won a German Cup. I mean, that's not a thing that happens.
I guess is what we have to do because with the World Cup this winter, we have to do some live shows with because I think Canada's making it. Hopefully, if Canada and the United States make it, let's do some.
Yes.
Try to go out to try to do a live show at a bar or something with the. Maybe if we have to, even if we have to travel to Chicago or something, let's try to make something special out of it. especially
Yeah, I'll see
Canadian.
that.
When Canada makes it, let's try to make because they deserve something special. But the way what I'm fearful of, the United States has to play by far the hardest of the. We have to play Panama for our.
Mhm.
We have to win this game at home against Panama because our last game is at Costa Rica.
Oh,
And
yeah, and I don't.
if
The U.S. has had trouble playing in Costa Rica for reasons I don't really understand.
we don't travel well in CONCACAF, we don't travel well at all. And for us to by blowing the game against Mexico, we have basically made it harder on ourselves to qualify. I mean, I know any other team in the conference would trade places with us except for Canada, but the way they went in the prevent defense with 15 minutes. I wish you could have seen how good they were playing. Like they had Mexico shook. We had them right where we wanted them. They were pointing at each other. They were, they weren't yelling at us. They were getting booed by their own fucking fans.
Yep. Yeah.
And as soon as if you can turn Azteca against Mexico, you're gonna win. But Burkhalter, and this isn't the first time like that he's done stupid shit like this. His whole tenure, like the games I've watched are stupid. And then on Men in Blazers, they cover the US a lot, and all they do is make fun of him. Like they're waiting for the coaching change. So
yeah, of course.
He's horrible. But anyways, let's you on in UEFA, Ukraine it's been decided that UEFA did something good. They're supposed to play. One second, let me get it up here. I think Scotland, because right now they're doing their the playoff games to see who are the other teams to get in for UEFA. And I believe, if I'm not, Ukraine finished second to France.
Wow.
And let's see here. They were supposed to play. Yeah, they're supposed to play Scotland, and then the winner of that will play. I forget who else, but UEFA had a decision of, and Ukraine on March 3rd petitioned the UEFA to please postpone the game. Give us a chance to at least play it at a later date, because the next international window is June 3rd.
Yeah.
And luckily this World Cup is being played in the winter time. So they're going to let them play the international on June 3rd. And then, and all the other teams that were involved in the situation agreed to let that happen. So, I'm hoping Ukraine, how great a story would be to have the Ukrainian national team make it to the World Cup.
Well, and the Russia was supposed to play 2 qualifiers against other European teams, and those teams declined to play them. So
yeah, and they're completely gone. They're completely gone.
Yeah, so that was an interesting event there too.
Let's see what else we got. We got Brazil, of course. Argentina, they're leading their thing. It's I think, is this the last World Cup with the normal amount of teams, and then the next one goes to the crazy amount?
Yes. Yeah, this is the last one with the regular
26 slate. Or something, 32 teams. I forget.
24, 32. Yeah, so I don't know, somewhere in there.
But yeah, I think this might be 20. It's okay. Eight groups of 4.
So 32.
Wait, it's six groups of 4.
Okay, so 24.
Now then I think we're going to go up to 32 next time. Yeah. I think that's what 32. It is.
Yeah.
Or we could be wrong. But anyways, there's some great stories coming out of international football. The other leagues, they still have some games to play, and it hasn't fully developed. But international soccer is heating up for qualifying bids, and I can't wait for Qatar to fuck up this World Cup in December. I wish there was still some way we could take it away from them.
Too late. if there's the second most corrupt organization in the world is FIFA. So what are you going to do?
I don't
so,
know.
All right. So I think we covered the big stuff, right?
Yeah. I think that's
NHL playoffs start soon, but we're not at that. We're not at the point yet. A couple of weeks still.
I'd really like to save. I'd say, can we just do a quick love and hate it, and then we'll come back and let's do a Ukraine thing by itself. Let's do a Ukraine special. I really would like to dive into that whole thing with more than 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
If that's all right with you.
Oh yeah. I think I don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to
because
relegate that to a 5-minute side conversation. That's
we're already past 1 o'clock, so we should wrap this up.
Okay, all right. Well, love it, hate it, Ken. What do you love the past 3 months or so?
Okay, what do I love the past 3 months? What do I love? What I love is this. Basically, it's the things that have happened in the last couple of days.
Yes,
I have finally seen, because it came out on a home video, Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you something, brother. Did you watch the other Spider-Man by chance?
The
Sam Raimi,
From Home and Homecoming. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Yes.
Yeah. Did you watch the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man?
No.
Either did I.
Yeah.
Because it looked bad, and apparently it was bad.
Yes.
Have you seen No Way Home? The new one.
No.
Do yourself a favor. It's a great movie. Now I can't talk spoilers, but let me see here. I'll say this.
I know what happens. I've read it. So go ahead.
Why would you do that? It's a visual medium.
I always do that.
But God damn it, Mark. But anyways, I'd say this. I believe all the old characters that come in from other universes.
Yes.
I believe that they're not used for just nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. Like, oh look, that's Green Goblin. Oh, like each of them play a part in the new Peter Parker's life.
Yes.
Like of having him dealing with something. And I love the fact that when they come in and they find out that if they send them back to their universes, they're all going to get killed by Spider-Man.
Yes.
And it's like, in our Spider-Man, that's kind of like a moral dilemma. Like, he likes to save people. And even like, these are like his Sinister Six, like in the comic books, like these are the bad guys, baddest of the bad guys. Like, for him and for this Peter Parker to go out of his way to try to help them and cure them of, because like all the old supervillains like always fall into a vat of acid or a vat of eels or a super
yes.
something that's they were all right until they fell into this vat. For him to figure out how to like save them all. Of course, Green Goblin, Willem Dafoe is Green Goblin.
Yes.
I loved how the director, when it came to him, still directed him and had him do voiceover like the Raimi films. It was almost like he copied Raimi's style when filming The Vulture, which I thought was great. I mean, unless you're like a real director head and like visual file, like that kind of person, like you, like even the framing of it, it's you'll notice it when you watch it, not read it. It's basically, I mean, it's literally like they took Raimi's Green Goblin and like just put him into this movie. It's great. Basically, I loved all those characters. I love the story when the two old Spider-Men come in. It was just great when they finally all meet and seeing them interact. It was their own versions of Peter Parker reacting, and Andrew Garfield.
Right.
I felt good for him because he never got like Toby and Tom got their trilogies.
Right.
Andrew never got to like really finish his Spider-Man, and so when he gave an interview saying like this helped me put closure to Spider-Man character that he did, and he also said he felt like the middle brother, like Tom Holland being the little brother and Tobey Maguire being the older brother in those movies. It was their chemistry was great, and I just definitely go see it. But also, my last thing I'll say: have you seen the Batman?
I have not seen the Batman.
Mark?
Yeah.
The Batman. Do you like movies?
Do I like movies? Generally, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What are you doing the rest of the day?
Going back to work.
All right. Is that really important?
Well, I mean, I probably don't think so, but my boss would disagree.
Can I get your boss's number? So no, but seriously, Mark, do yourself a favor. Like, go see this Batman. Even if you don't like comic book movies and you don't like Batman.
Okay.
This is a entirely different take on the character. This Batman would not fit in with any other, like in any other film universe. Like there is nothing like it. And I gotta say, it's the best Batman. Robert Pattinson's the best man to put on the batsuit. Matt Reeves understands the character and directed him perfectly. I forget the cinematographer's name, but it's the best looking Gotham. Just dirty, grimy. Like you feel like something bad's gonna happen to you in the theater because Gotham is so seedy. Paul Dano as the Riddler. I felt bad for him because Heath Ledger's Joker is still being talked about to this day. It's hard to create a character that can top that. Dano doesn't. When I say he doesn't come close, doesn't mean like he was bad. Still a great villain and a great different take on the Riddler.
Right.
Just Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Beautiful. Not just her, but the way her acting is. When I say beautiful, I meant the acting.
Well, sure, right.
And the last thing I'll say is the last few things. Andy Serkis is Alfred. Him and Robert Pattinson playing off each other, like Alfred being that caring father figure, while this emo brooding Robert Pattinson is still trying, as now a young adult, we're trying to work out. He's still working with the death of his parents and all this. Like Alfred plays it very. You think since he's kind of stern with him, but he's still a very understanding of Bruce and wanting to protect him. And it's the way they played it. Ugh. And God damn it, is it Jeffrey Wright? Commissioner Gordon.
I don't actually know.
It's a black actor. I think it's Jeffrey. He played.
Could be Jeffrey Wright.
Anyways, Jeffrey Wright is Commissioner Gordon. Just the way Batman can play off each other. You just got to see it, man, and go see it in the theaters. It deserves to be. Me and my mom hadn't been out to a movie theater in years because of the pandemic. This was the first movie we've seen at a movie theater out with people in public. Of course, we were the only two wearing masks in the entire theater. Even though we're vaccinated, get vaccinated, people. But I know my love went on for a long time, but those are two movies that I've been waiting for, and being able to go out, and I felt uncomfortable being around that many people because it had been so long. And I'm normally not uncomfortable in a movie theater, but I love those two. Mark, please see both of them. What do you love?
Well, sticking with Spider-Man, I saw the trailer for the Into the Spider-Verse sequel. So that's coming up. That'll be fun.
Oh yeah, baby. That's Into the Spider-Verse, the first one. I loved it. I can't wait for Miles to come to live action.
I am of the opinion that Into the Spider-Verse is probably the best of the Spider-Man films. I just I it shouldn't work as a film, but it does. And I think those are the ones that kind of just make me think that this is a fantastic film.
100% agrees. Into the Spider-Verse, when you hear but to me, it's to a normal person it shouldn't work, like the whole multiverse thing. But there's been so many comics about multiverses is that writers have refined that aspect so much that they can only explain it to you in one thought bubble. So
well, but like you shouldn't be able to put Peter Porker and Penny Parker in a film with Peter Parker and have that work as well as it does. But it does.
I argue with you at this point. Peter Parker, or the Spider-Man character as itself, is with the mask and the ability for anyone to be underneath that mask.
Right.
It's easier for the audience to put them, like if you're a young girl, Spider-Gwen, you can see yourself as her. Miles. Right. Like there's so many with all those, there's somebody in the audience for every one of those Spider-Man for them to latch on to. You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
So what do you hate?
Oh my God. What do I hate? I'll say this.
What do you hate that we can distill down to 5 minutes?
Okay, I'll say this. What do I hate? I hate that in this country that substance abuse and things of that nature, mental health issues, are not given the respect that they should be. They're either laughed at, or people that have them are either pushed aside. Like, we don't want to see them. We want to keep our streets pristine. It comes down to the Encanto song. We don't talk about Bruno. We just, I mean, that might as well be the theme song. That might as well be America's national anthem. When it comes to that certain,
it comes to a lot of things.
With a lot of aspects of this country. But the fact that the richest nation on earth, the fact that we can't house everyone, and the fact that there are people that want help, but they put so many hoops in front of you, it's just easier to go back to the thing you know. And even if you trip once, they kick you out of a program. Like, these people that are so high and mighty, they're usually the ones that are blowing back rails of coke and laughing at people and they got a drug problem. It's like, because I'm rich and because they have money and can afford it's. I'm tired of America looking down on people like that and basically treating them like dirt when they're human beings that are afforded the same rights as you or me.
It is one of the things that we seem to struggle with in this country. There are two. We've decided that poverty is a moral failing, and that substance abuse is not an illness. It's a
choice.
It's a lack of will.
Yep.
And there, we've got to. I mean, I don't. Unfortunately, the way things are trending in America, I don't see. I mean, we're getting worse at understanding people and dealing with people, and so I don't have a lot of hope for it. But I really wish we could step back and take a minute and decide that we want to be a better place than we are. Especially in relation to people who are not as fortunate as we are.
I couldn't agree with you more though. I couldn't agree more with that. It's a sad state. Like, there's no reason for this country. There's no reason this country can't help people. No. And I'm gonna say this. Even where I work, they're starting to really put in a lot of robots. And for every
Yeah.
robot, that's about 3 people's jobs that they don't have anymore.
Mhm.
And I mean, I know it's coming for me at some point, but I don't think people understand how hard it is to find a good paying job.
No.
A job that can actually afford you rent and a decent meal and a place. It's just
And I think
most people have looked out with their family helping them and in school. They don't understand what it's like to be a real person in the real world.
yeah, and I think we should actually do an episode on that. It's because especially robotics and the future of work.
Oh yeah.
Because we're
Yes.
going to have to figure out another way to pay people, because automation
these people.
is
Oh yeah.
automation
All these
is
people.
going to displace a lot of people, and we haven't begun to address what to do when all those people are out of work.
Because it's not just the money, it's also the emotional effect of not having a job, of being replaced by a robot. And also, I just want to say, if all these people that are against welfare and against universal UBIs, they're coming. Like, welfare is going to go up. If you don't, a universal basic income is coming, because automation it's accelerating it's at a rate, at an exponential rate. Companies want them because robots don't have medical insurance.
And they don't
The
take
first
vacation.
thing, I'll say this, last thing I'll say is the first thing we need to do is we need to take medical insurance and untie it from employment. That is that's evil. That's evil what we do to people.
Every other country has. I don't
understand it.
I don't know why.
But that's all I got to say about that.
All right, yeah. Well, we'll come back to that when we have a show. Yeah. So I'm gonna be a little trivial since you took the gravitas on that one. Did you watch Marvel's What If series?
Yeah, I love it.
I too enjoyed it very much. What I hate this week though is, so did you notice anything weird about the last 2 episodes?
Like the last 2 episodes when they were fighting the Ultron bot, they got the stones.
Yes.
And then the Watcher had to break his rule and get a bunch of, basically make a Guardians of the Universe.
Yes.
I hate it. What I noticed was Chadwick Boseman. It's sad to hear his voice.
Yes. But did you notice 2 people show up in that episode that hadn't shown up anywhere before that?
Yeah, because we're missing an episode. There's a Gamora that has a suit. We're missing a whole episode because the pandemic.
Episode 7.
Like, why didn't you finish it?
This is what I don't understand. They said they didn't include it because it wasn't finished in time for the launch. You're a streaming service. You can launch it anytime you want.
And then people are going to love it.
Just delay it a week and finish the episode and put it in there. Or,
but you know what?
Or now that you've released it and you've had 6 months,
put it in.
Release it now.
Exactly.
What do you do? It's so 100%, stupid.
100% agree with you. But I know why. I figured Disney out. If you look back at their release schedules, okay. Basically, Moon Knight's coming out next Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then that runs about 6-8 episodes. Mm-hmm. Right. Then Obi-Wan's coming out May 20-something. So Moon Knight's gonna run its course, and then you're gonna have like a week or 2 off, and then Kenobi. This has been happening for the last 2 years as shows have come out. You usually get a Star Wars and then a Marvel, then a Star Wars and then a Marvel, and they've been running like that. So I think if they would have delayed What If, then you're pushing back all your other projects. but still, yes, push them all back.
But that
or
still doesn't
or
excuse why you haven't released it yet.
add it after the fact.
Because now it's done, right? So now you
yeah.
can say,
Oh, yeah.
"Ooh, special episode." You can make a big deal out of it. Just do it.
Get more eyeballs on your What If series.
Exactly.
I don't know.
It's so dumb. Anyway, all right. I think that's gonna do it for this episode.
All right.
How long have we been on here?
Let's not think about it.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll just let that go. All right, Kenny. Good to see you. Good to talk to you again. Let's
always great to see you, brother.
Let's do this again sooner than
later.
months. Yeah. All right.
Let's
sir.
both not have. All right, wait. Let's make an agreement. Let's both agree that life will not happen to us for next week. Like,
yes,
everything in our life is gonna go perfectly great.
Everything's gonna be fine. No problems.
We'll see you. Same bad time, same bad channel.
All right, sir. Have a good one.
Later, bro.
All right, see ya.